Hello everyone, this is Tarun Kaushik and today in this lecture we will be studying about the numerical methods. So this is the part 1 of this numerical method. In the part 2 we will be studying about that you can say that digital electronics related portion, in which we will be studying about logic gates, combination. Okay, so in this particular lecture we will be studying about numerical methods. Okay, so these 5 topics we will be covering in this particular lecture, as you can see on the screen. Okay, so let's start. So the first is the solution of algebraic and transcendental equations of one variable. Okay, by bisection, regular falsi and Newton-Raphson. So first we will see that what is the algebraic equation and what is an transcendental equation, and how to solve these equations by these 3 methods: bisection, regular falsi and Newton-Raphson method. So as you can see over here, this algebraic, before that I think you must have heard this word ILATE method. ILATE, L-A-T-E, ILATE. This method I think you have heard in the calculus by parts. Okay, by parts, when you do the integration by parts, when there are two different function, these are in the multiplication form, then you solve the integration by using the formula by parts. So by parts is solved by using this formula, or you can say that this is a trick, you can say ILATE, where I stands for inverse, L stands for logarithmic, A stands for algebraic, and this is ILATE. T stands for trigonometric, E stands for exponential. So this algebraic function means the function which is in the form of f of x, something a polynomial function f of x equals to x square plus or x cube, any polynomial. So this is what I used here, polynomial. Algebraic function, this is fn means function, algebraic function of the form that is f n x equals to a naught x raised to power and something like that. This is algebraic form. So this is a polynomial. And transcendental equation, which is non-algebraic means except this algebraic, other than algebraic, all these forms like logarithmic, trigonometric, exponential, all these forms, like example you can see over here, logarithmic, exponential and trigonometric, all these known as transcendental. Okay, so next point is intermediate value theorem. So if, for example, this is a curve and this is the value, this is the function x is equal to a, this is the x-axis, this is f of x, or you can say y-axis, this is f of function of x, this is a, and this is point a and this is point b. So the value of the function at this point a and the value of the function at point b, if we multiply both and multiplication of these functions at these two values comes out to be less than 0, then there exists at least one root of the equation f of x that equals to 0 in the interval ab. So if the product of the value of the function at two different point, if that value comes out to be negative, less than 0 means negative, if the product is less than 0, then the root must be lying between these two values a and b. Okay, so this is the theorem of this is the theorem which is known as intermediate value theorem. So in the syllabus, as you can see on the last page, we have seen that bisection method. So we will be studying about the bisection method, that how the question can be solved using bisection method. So let's study about this bisection method. This method is based on the theorem which states that if a function f of x is continuous between a and b, so this is the same, this function a, this is the point a and b, and the function is continuous from point a to b, and the value f of a and f of b are of opposite sign, means if the value at a and b, for example, if f of if there is any function, suppose f of x, and the value of f of x at point x equals to a, if the value is negative, I am not saying equal or opposite, I am saying sign. For example, the value is negative. For example, if f of x is equals to x square and x cube, you can say that at x equals to minus 2, So the value of the function at x equal to -2, that comes out to be -8. So I am saying not the value, just see the sign. So here the sign is negative, so I am saying this negative. Okay, if the function value at a simple point is a positive or negative, suppose I am assuming that here the value is negative and here the value is at point B the value is positive. So what I am saying, if the value is opposite sign, then there exists at least one root between A and B. Okay, so if there exists only a single point, or you can say that f of A and f of B are of opposite sign, then there will be a root that will be lying between these two values. Okay, so let us do this. You can say that understand this process by example. So the question is f of x equals to x cube minus 4x minus 9 equals to 0. So we are required to calculate the root of the equation using bisection method. Okay, so we just randomly just put the value of the just put any random value in this form, or you can say that in this question I put 2. When I calculate f of 2, then I got negative sign in this value, because 2 cube 8 minus 8 minus 9, 8 get cancelled out and I got -9, that is negative. When I put f equal to 3, then I got a sign positive. What we studied in the previous slide, we studied that if we calculate the value of a function at point A and we calculate the value of a function at point B, then if the values are sign are different, suppose that the function here is negative and here is positive, or here that is negative, or here that is the function is positive, if there is a change of sign between these two, you can say that intermediate value, then the root must be lying between these two. Okay, so it means there must be a root which will be lying between 2 and 3. So I am assuming this is my point 2 and this is my point 3. So there will be a root which may be lying between these two. So I am assuming the intermediate value of these two. So intermediate value, or you can say mid of these 2 point is 2.5, because 3, 2 and 3, the mid is 2.5. How I calculated? 2 plus 3 divided by 2. So this is the next point. I write it like x1, that is 2.5. So now again, if I put this value of x, that is 2.5, in the main function f of x, then I got the value is negative. So after putting the value of this function, the value comes out to be negative. So you just now, this is the point you have to remember. If after putting any value of x in the function, if you get a negative value, then the root will be lying on the right side. So just always remember, if the value, or you can say that the value of function is coming negative, then the root must be lying on the opposite sign. What I am saying for Hindi speaking people, I am saying that हम हिंदी में क्या लेके चलते हैं, हम लेके चलते हैं कि इस साइड ये होता है हमारा नेगेटिव एक्सिस और ये होता है हमारा पॉजिटिव एक्सिस. ओके, सो मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ कि ये जो पॉइंट 3 है और ये पॉइंट यहाँ पे 2 है, और इन दोनों का जो मिड पॉइंट 2.5 है, 2.5 के ऊपर जो फंक्शन की वैल्यू कितनी आई? नेगेटिव. जो वैल्यू नेगेटिव है, तो नेगेटिव का मतलब मेरे को लेफ्ट की तरफ चलना चाहिए, लेकिन इंस्टेड ऑफ गोइंग टुवर्ड्स द लेफ्ट आई विल मूव टुवर्ड्स पॉजिटिव. ओके, सो यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दिस थिंग कि यदि नेगेटिव वैल्यू जाती है तो मेरे को कहाँ पे प्रोसीड करना है? आई हैव टू प्रोसीड टुवर्ड्स द राइट साइड. So the value will be lying between 2.5 and 3. But I have written over here, this is x1, the root will be lying between x1 and x3. So this is 2.5 or 2 to 3. So again I used to calculate the mid of these two. So mid will be this point and the point will be 2.75. How I calculated? Just add these 2 points and divided by 2. You will get this point. Again, when you put the value of 2.7 in the main function, then what you will be getting? You will be getting again a sign with the value of the function at this point will be positive. And when the value is positive, so towards which side we will be moving? We will be moving towards the left side, because when it is the negative, we will be moving towards left side, that is, or right side. Very good. That we will be moving towards right side. This is the right side. And when we will be moving towards left side? When the value is positive. किसकी पॉजिटिव वैल्यू आई एम टॉकिंग? the function value at that particular point of x. Okay, now again, so you do this process again. You can say that this is the, again here the root lies between these 2 points. Again you calculate the mid of these 2 points. You calculate the value 2 point, this is the value 2.625. again you calculated the value. You keep on doing this process, and after that you will getting your answer. That is the root of the equation which is lying between 2 and 3. The root is 2.7, so the root will be lying somewhere at this point. Okay, so this will be the root. This will be the root. Okay, so next, regular falsy method. This is again a method of calculating the root of the equation, and in this is specifying that please calculate the root up to the 3 decimal point, and the question is f of x equals to x cube minus 2x minus 5 equal to 0. Again I put two random value 2 and 3, and then I notice that the value of at 2 is negative and the value at 3 is positive, so it means the root must be lying between these 2 points, that is 2 and 3. I think I am going just a bit fast, so I will be reducing my pace. So x naught equals to 2. What x naught is? I am assuming that the initial value is 2 and the final value I am assuming is 3. So the root will be lying between 2 and 3. Again this is the same question, not same question, same procedure to be followed. 2 and the 3, the root will be lying between these two. Okay, so now you have to remember here this formula. x2, that is the value of x, that equals to x naught minus the initial value, not initial value, the final value. The final value, that this is the final value and this is the initial value, means final value minus initial value divided by the value of function at that particular points. Like I take it here that this is the final point, I am rubbing it, this is the final point, and this is the value of the function at the final point, and this is the initial, and this is the initial. What it is? It is the value of the function at initial value. So I just put the value. X naught is what? X naught is 2. What is x1? x1 is 3. And what is 2? X naught is 2. F of x1. F of x1 is, what is f of x1? When I put the 3 into this function, then the f of x1 will be 16. This is plus 16. This is a plus 16. Minus minus plus 1. When I into f of x naught, just multiply. Do not forget to multiply this function with f of x naught. This is not the complete. This is with this function. X naught is with this function. Okay. So when you do the multiplication, you will get this function, and the answer you will be getting 2.0588. Okay. So the value of the function at this point you will be getting, this is minus 0.3908. Okay. What we have studied up to now is that if there are 2 points, let us suppose I am assuming this is the point 2 and this is the point 3, and after solving from this regular falsy method, we have seen that the point is 2 point something, 2.058. the point is 2.058. the root will be lying somewhere here. Okay, so if we calculated the value of the function at this point, and if this comes out to be negative, what we have studied, if the value comes out to be negative, then where we will be proceeding? Towards the right side. So the value will be lying from where to where? From this point, from this point to this point. The root will be lying between these two only. Okay, so this will become x naught and this will become x1. Okay, so this will be 3 will be x1 and x naught will be changed to 2.058. Again do the same process, and after doing it, you can say by repeating this process up to some 5 or 3 terms, 3, 4, 5 or 6 terms, you will be getting these answers, and the root will be 2.094 correct to decimal places after 7 iteration. Okay, so that is this regular falsy method. So we have covered this bisection, we have done regular falsy we have done, and this now we will be doing Newton-Raphson method. So this is Newton forward interpolation, and we will be doing it later before doing this Newton-Raphson method. So what is this Newton-Raphson method? This is also used for solution, finding the solution of algebraic or transcendental equation. This method is useful to improve the result obtained by the two previous method. Which two previous method? Number one, bisection method, and another is regular falsi method, RF. Okay. So we are assuming x naught be the approximate root of a equation f of x equals to 0. How, when we will be calculating the root? When we substitute an equation equals to 0, and when we calculate that, we will be getting the roots of that. So we are assuming that x naught is the approximate root of that equation. So we will be taking a correct root. So we are adding some point into the x naught. We have added some little increment, or you can say that h, that becomes x naught will become x naught, x1 will become x naught plus h. So this will be the correct root, so that f of x1 equals to 0. Okay, this is the same. So this is the Taylor series expansion of this f of x naught plus h. We have studied in this this Taylor series expansion in the complex analysis. This is the same formula. After just neglect this higher term, when you will neglecting this term, you will be getting this much only, f of x naught plus h into f dash x naught. This is f dash, means first derivative of the function. When you neglect this higher order, and then you will be getting this. When you substitute, when you will calculate this, then you will be getting h equals to minus f of x naught upon f dash x naught. Okay. When we have taken that x1 equals to x naught plus h, just substitute this value over here, you will be getting this formula. Okay, you will be getting this formula, x naught minus f of x naught divided by f dash x naught. So this is 1 and this is 0, 1 less than. Okay, if here it is 2, then here you will be getting x1. If here it is 3, then here you will be getting 2. If here it is n, then here you will be getting n minus 1. And if here it is n plus 1, then here you will be getting n. Okay, this is there. X of n plus 1, 1 less, means x of n minus f of xn divided by f dash xn. This is a Newton-Raphson formula or iteration. So this question was asked in the 2014 for the 10 marks, and the question was find the root of this equation up to the 4th decimal point, and the function was cos x minus x e raised to the power x. This was for the 10 marks. Newton-Raphson method से use करना है इसको. Okay, f dash x was this is f of x, so we can calculate the first derivative of this function, cos x minus sin x, and again x as it is, do the derivative of e raised to power x, that is e raised to power x. Now keep e raised to power x as it is, the derivative of x with respect to x is 1, so you have calculated the derivative also of the function which is given f of x. Okay, so we are having f dash x and we are having f of x. Now you again randomly take two values in the function. If there is a change in the values of the function, then you can say that the root will be lying between somewhere between these two values. So I randomly took 0 and 1. When I put 0, then I got the negative value, positive value. When I put 1, then I got the negative value. And I am assuming any value between these two x naught, I am taking 0.5 between these two. So according to the function x of n, according to the formula of Newton-Raphson, x of n equals to x of n minus f of xn divided by f dash x of n. Or you can say that here this n is not the nth derivative. Here n you can say that 0, 1 to any whole number, you can say that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 you have to put. So when you put n equals to 0, what will happen? x1 equals to x naught minus f of x naught divided by f dash of x naught. What is x naught? That is 0.5, which we have assumed. What is f of x naught? The value of the function at 0.5. Just put the 0.5 over here, you will get this value. Okay, f of x naught, you will be getting this value. What is f dash of x naught? Just put the 0.5 in the derivative portion. So you have to put this x naught in the function and in the derivative. So you will be getting these two values, 0.0532 and 2.9525, and after solving you will be getting this. So what you have get? You have get x1. Now what you will be doing? Now you will be taking this function, this as your initial value again. So now you are required to put this value in this function f of x again, and again put this value over f dash x. So you have calculated this function after doing again you have calculated the value x2 by the same procedure. Okay, just put the values and get the answer. So I have solved this problem and got the value, got the answer up to 4 digits, 5178. So that is 0.5178. We have got the answer. So this is a very simple question, Newton-Raphson method. So very simple questions are asked in UPSC from this portion of numerical methods. And what about this numerical method? The thing is that this is very simple process, or you can say simple mathematics, but you have to remember various things in this. Like in Newton-Raphson you have to remember this formula. In the bisection you have to remember this formula of you can say that x naught minus x1 minus initial value, final value minus initial value, and the value of the function at final value minus the value of the function at initial value. So you have to remember this function, this formula. I am again putting the formula for you. You have to remember this formula, and in this you have to remember this formula again. You have to remember this formula. Okay, so we have done this first topic of that our syllabus, that is the Newton-Raphson basic bisection, regular falsi, and Newton-Raphson. So first point we have covered. Now we will be doing this third. First we will doing this third, then we will move toward the second. It's a bit lengthy. Second one is a bit lengthy. So we will be studying about interpolation, forward and backward, and Lagrange's interpolation. So what is this interpolation of, and where it is being used? So this interpolation is mainly used, you can say that you have studied this in the you have read statistics, where you have to calculate some you can say that x is given, some frequency is given, so you are required to calculate the number of something. Okay, so such type of problem will be dealt with Newton's you can say Newton forward interpolation and backward interpolation. So how to solve? मैथ के अंदर अल्टीमेट हमें करना क्या होता है? वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट द आंसर. सो व्हाट इज द प्रोसेस टू बी फॉलोड? व्हाट आई यूज टू फॉलो इज दैट मैं थ्योरी कम न्यूमेरिकल ज़्यादा करता हूँ. वंस आई जस्ट यू गॉट द फॉर्मूला एंड आफ्टर डूइंग द प्रॉब्लम we came to net that why this formula is being, you can say that invented. यदि हम इस फॉर्मूला न्यूटन जो फॉरवर्ड इंटरपोलेशन है, यदि हम इस फॉर्मूले को एक बार इसको न्यूमेरिकल में इसको इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे, उसके बाद जो आंसर आएगा उस आंसर से हम इसको वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड दैट व्हाई दिस फॉर्मूला इज बीइंग इम्प्लीमेंटेड, व्हाट इज द नीड ऑफ दिस फॉर्मूला. वी कैन केम टू नो अबाउट दैट. ओके, सो फर्स्ट टेक ए क्वेश्चन. You just remember these two formula. Y of x equals to y naught p into del y naught p into p minus 1. Okay, you just remember this. What is del naught? This you remember this in later portion. First I will explain the question. What was question? In 2013 a question of 10 marks was asked from this Newton forward interpolation. Then the question was, marks are given that between 30 to 40 31 candidates have scored 30 to 40 marks, 40 to 50 42, and 51 and 35 and 31 subsequent marks have been got by the number of students. So we are required to find out the number of students who have scored the marks between 40 to 45. So we are required to calculate the marks obtained by how many students from 40 to 45. Means least number we have having that minimum 40 and maximum 45 marks. How many students are there who have got minimum 40 and maximum 45, and between these two? So you just write down how many students are there who have got the marks less than 40. 31. So I write 40 31. Again, how many students are there who have got marks less than 50? Not 42. These 31 also have got the marks less than 50. So add these two, 31 plus 42, that comes out to be 73. Like the same, add these two, you will be getting 124. Again add this 70, this 35, you will be getting 159, and again add this 31, you will be getting 190. So what it is called? It is called as this. What is this is? What this is? This is cumulative frequency. Okay, and this is the frequency, and this is cumulative frequency. So can you see the difference between these two? There is a 42. The difference between these two, 51. The difference between these two, 35. The difference between these two, 31. And the difference between these two, 9. The difference between these two, minus 16. The difference between these two, minus 4. The difference between these two, you will be getting this and this. Again, do the difference between these two, you will be getting this. So do the difference up to when you will be getting only single value here. Okay, so what is this is the delta d this is the delta y of x, means this is the difference of the y of x. Okay, and what is del square? This is the, again it is the difference of the del of yx. What is del yx? This is the difference. What is the del square? This is the difference of del of yx. पहले ही एक तो डेल है और पहले हम उसका आगे एक और डिफरेंस ले रहे हैं, तो एक पुट और कर दिया. अगेन डिफरेंस किया तो 3, अगेन डिफरेंस किया तो यहाँ पे 4 आएगा. नॉट 3, 2, दिस इज द 4. ओके, सो हाउ मेनी मार्क्स? लीस्ट मार्क्स आर 40 and maximum marks are 45. So the difference between these two, 45 minus 40 divided by, what is the gap of the marks? What I am taking, 40, 50, 60, 70 and 80, that is 10. So 45 minus 40 divided by 10, that is 5 by 10, that is 0.5. What is 0.5? That is P. That is, this is the P. You have you will be thinking, what is this P? This P is x minus x naught divided by h. That's the interval. Okay, this is the interval h. So why I have taken this P? P have been taken for that gap x minus x naught divided by h. Okay, since this why I am calculating y of 45, because we have to calculate the number of candidates or number of students who have got the marks less than 45 but greater than 40. I have taken this 45. But where is that 40? Because the 40 is here. X naught I have taken 40. So the formula is y40. First you take just y40. Again you take the difference here, like in the same. पहले हमने y of x लिया, अगेन में हमने डेल लिया, उससे अगले में डेल स्क्वायर, उससे अगले डेल क्यूब, उससे अगले में हमने लिया डेल की पावर 4. सो इसी फॉर्म में इसको ऐसे लिख दो, y डेल y स्क्वायर डेल क्यूब डेल h टू पावर 4. पहले में कुछ भी नहीं, नेक्स्ट में p, अगले में p इंटू पी माइनस 1, उससे अगले में एक और घटा दो, उससे अगले में एक और सब्सट्रैक्ट कर दो. आफ्टर दैट if you have taken the power 1, then divided by the same factorial, 1 by 1 factorial. Here you have taken 2 factors, then divided by 2 factor. Here 3 factors, 3 factorial. Here 4 factorial. So this is the same formula. Now you understand. Okay, now you already know the value of this value. What is y40? This is the 40. What is the value corresponding to 40? That is 31. So I have put this 31 over here. This is the 31. Okay, for better, this is the 31. What is del 40? This is the del, this is the 42. For this we will be taking these first values we will be taking. Minus 31, 42, minus 9 or plus 9? Plus 9. 25, minus 25 and 37. This is the 31, 45, 9, minus 25 and 37. Here this 2 factorial, this is the 3 factorial 6, 4 factorial 24. And again this P remains the same, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5 minus 1, 0.5, 0.5 minus 1, 0.5 minus 2, 0.5, 0.5 minus 1, 0.5 minus 2, 0.5 minus 3. Just do the calculation, you will be getting your answer. Okay, isn't it a very simple question? Yes, you will be finding it very easy. Once, or you can say twice, you will be reading this, you will be getting to know this very better. Next, Newton's forward interpolation formula, you remember. Here we have started from y naught, and in the backward you started from y of n. The process is same. Now you have, I think you have came to know about the application of Newton interpolation, forward interpolation. the interpolation, forward interpolation, the benefit is that you can calculate the number of candidates between any point of, you can say that any interval you can calculate by using this formula. Okay, so the next is Lagrange interpolation. This is also very simple. This question asked in the mains 2015 for the 15 marks or 10 marks, I think 15 or 10, I don't remember, I think 10 marks. For the 10 marks this question was asked, very simple question. So you just remember this formula. This is given, I have taken this x naught, I have this are not given in the question, x naught, x1, x2, x1, I have written this point, x naught, x1, x2, x3, these are y naught, y1, y2, y3, and I am assuming this is y3, this is, so this is not there. What was the question? When y is 1.5, then calculate the value of x. This was the question. X is given and y is given, or you can say f of x given. So we are required to calculate the value of x. So how to calculate the value of x? So this is the formula of Lagrange's interpolating polynomial. So how to remember this formula? You can see over here this x naught, x1, x2, x3. So you just put these value in this. You are required to put this value over here only. There is no you can say that benefit of this value other than this. So you have to multiply by these values to this product. Okay, so what is this product? So you can see over here, this is 1, this is 11, this is 31, this is 69. So in the first form, when you are calculating this first form, what you will be doing, you will be neglecting this first term. Neglect this first term. Subtract this y from everything, y minus 11, y minus 31, y minus 69. Okay, numerator part is over. In all the in the first, in all, how what to do? In first, neglect this. In second, neglect this. In third, neglect this. In fourth, neglect this. Okay, so what I am saying, these are the what we have done. We have, in first we have neglected this, we have subtracted y from y1, y2, y3. In the next case, what we have done, we have forgetted this y1, we have subtracted this from y minus y0, y minus y2, y minus y3. Okay, it's in the same. In the next we will be removing this y2, then again y minus y0, y minus y1, y minus y3, and again in the same third we will be neglecting this y3. So y minus y0, y minus y1, y minus y2. Okay, and the numerator, what you will be doing, in the first case you will be subtracting these value, y0 minus y1, y0 minus y2, y0 minus y3. In the next, what you will be doing, y1 minus y2, y1 minus y2, y1 minus y3. and in the next, मतलब जिसको भी लेंगे उसको छोड़ के बाकी सभी में से घटा दो. In the denominator part you will be getting this formula and just put the value, get the answer. Very simple, isn't it? Yes, you will be getting this after doing 2 or 3 times. Okay, this is the simplest trick which I can tell you. So this we have done. So now let's proceed to the second portion of that, which we have taken into the first slide or second slide. So this is what I was telling. Solution of the system of linear equation by Gaussian elimination, Gauss-Jordan and Gauss-Seidel methods. So we'll be solving these problem of this Gauss elimination, Gauss-Jordan and Gauss-Seidel methods. So we'll be doing it very fast. Very simple it is, elimination. So you can pause the video and read this theory. We will be doing the example, because what I feel is that theory पढ़ना is a boring thing. मैथमेटिक्स हमने ऑप्शनल भी इसलिए चूज किए करते हैं कि हमें थ्योरी नहीं पढ़नी पड़ेगी. वी आर हैविंग द फॉर्मूला एंड वी इफ थ्योरी का मतलब ये नहीं कि वी विल नॉट रीड द कॉन्सेप्ट, वी विल बी जस्ट getting the concept once, and there will be, we can solve any type of question after just having the knowledge of what was the question and what is the concept and what the formula is. Okay, so if we will be doing the question, then the concept we will be, and the procedure we will be came to know about what is that Gauss elimination. So this is the question. By applying the Gauss elimination method, we are required to solve this equation, and these equations are these: x plus 4x, x plus 4y minus z is equals to minus 5, and these three equations are given, and we are required to solve these equations. So what is the difference between these Gauss elimination, Gauss Jordan, and Gauss Seidel method? These are the, you can say that, some modification, like in Gauss Jordan some modification from Gauss elimination, and in the Gauss Seidel method there will be some much more modification. Okay, so first we will be understanding Gauss elimination. So what we have done, we will be eliminating this x from these two equation, last two equation. We will be removing x from these last two. How we can eliminate? So subtract this from this and subtract this from third time of this, because 3 into 3x will be getting cancelled. Okay, so after operating this operation we will be getting these two equation. Okay, I will be not explaining that how to subtract and how to do sum and etc., because we are preparing for the IAS, and you should be doing this with a very ease. Okay, so we have solved this is the first step we have done. Now we will be removing y from these two steps. How to remove? Just compare the coefficient, do the these are 2 point, you can say that two variable equation. We can calculate, we can remove this y from these two equation and get the value of z. When we are having z value, we just put the value in any equation, get the value of y. When we are having the value of y and z, just put in the first equation, you will be getting the value of x. So this is the answer. So this is the process of Gauss elimination. We will be eliminating variables one by one. First we eliminated x, then we have y, then we are left with only z. Okay, in the Gauss Jordan method, what is the process, what is the modification is there? So we will be seeing this with an example. So apply the Gauss Jordan method to solve this equation: x plus this is equal to this, and this, then that this. Okay, so in this process we will be eliminating x, y, z. Like you can see that we will be taking x, y and z. So we will be eliminating x from these two equations. We will be removing y from the first and last. We will be removing z from first two equation. So we will be removing the variable from the two equation in every step. How? Now let's see. We have to remove the y from these first, you can see that first and fourth, first and sixth. What I have told is that we have to remove, देखो फर्स्ट इक्वेशन में हमें x चाहिए, y नहीं चाहिए, और हमें y किस में नहीं चाहिए, y सेकंड में चाहिए और थर्ड में नहीं चाहिए, तो हम थर्ड में से y हटा देंगे. थर्ड कौन सी है? दिस इज द फर्स्ट इक्वेशन, दिस इज द सेकंड एंड दिस इज द थर्ड. पहली में y नहीं चाहिए और तीसरी में y नहीं चाहिए, तो मेरे को पहली और तीसरी में से y एलिमिनेट करना है. यार दिस इज देयर टू एलिमिनेट x फ्रॉम सेकंड एंड थर्ड. सेकंड एंड थर्ड से x एलिमिनेट कर देंगे. पहले स्टेप में हम x एलिमिनेट कर रहे हैं. ओके, x एलिमिनेट करेंगे तो x इसमें नहीं होना चाहिए और इसके अंदर नहीं होना चाहिए, तो इसमें अंदर नहीं होना चाहिए. व्हाट वी विल बी डूइंग, वी विल बी सॉल्विंग दीज टू operation, we will be following and get the answer. These are x free equation. Now again y free equation बनने के लिए what we will be doing, we will be eliminating y from this and this, that is fourth और sixth को y free बना दो, fourth और sixth को y free बनाएंगे. By doing that, again we will be solving this. After solving these two operation, we will be getting these answers. Now z from the first and last, that is 7th and 8th, you will be getting x, y and z. This is your answer. Very easy, isn't it? Now the next, Gauss Seidel method. So this is the theory again. Instead of reading a theory, you just read a theory. We will be doing a question directly. So this question was asked in the mains 2015 for the 15 marks using Gauss Seidel method. And it is also mentioned, do the 4 iteration. In the question it was mentioned that do the 4 iteration for solving this. Okay, so you calculate the value w from the first equation, x from the second, y from the third and z from the fourth. Now what you get? Initially you take all the values, w equals to w naught, x equals to x naught, y equal to y naught, z equal to z naught, and all these values are initially 0, that is 0. When you put 0 everywhere, what you get? 3. So w will be getting 3 by 10. So w when you will be getting 0.3. But instead of so what is the new in this question, or you can say in this form, is that in the x1 portion, you are having this w. What is the value of w? That is 0.3 you have calculated. Now you will be not putting this value as 0, you will be putting the value as 0.3 at here, but y and z are still 0, so you will be putting the value as 0. So you will be getting x1. Now in y1, now for y1 you are having the value y, w and x you are having, you do not have the value of z, so you will put it at 0 and put the value of w as this, and put the value of x1 as this, and solve the value. You again get the value of y, that is this. Now in again the last form, you are having a new value of x1, y1 and z1. Put all the new values of x, y, w, x, y in this last equation and get the value of z1, that comes out to be z1. So z1 comes out to be this one. Now this is the first iteration. Now do the second iteration in the same way. Here you are having x equals to x1, y equals to y1 and z equals to z1. Now when you put all these new values in the first equation, what you will be getting? W2, not w1. W1 you have already calculated by putting all these value as 0. So you will be getting the w2. W2 comes out to be here. Now again put the w2 over here in this and y1, y as y1 and z as z1. Then calculate the value as x1. Now again put this x1 here over here and this w over here. You will calculate the value of z by taking this y value of y by taking the value as z1. Again calculate the y value of z1 by taking y1 you have calculated, x you have calculated, w you have calculated. Okay, so do the process by the 4 time, third iteration and fourth iteration. After doing, you will be getting this value w4. This is nearest to what? This is nearest to 1, this is nearest to 2, this is nearest to 3, and this is nearest to 0. So w4 is 1, x4 is 2, y4 is 3 and z4 is 0. When you put all these value in this equation, in this system of equation, you can satisfy, you can prove that these answers are correct only. Okay, so why I have written this x1, x2, x3, x4. Initially in the UPSC this question was not in the form of w, x, y, z. This function was in the form of x1, x2, x3, x4. I have replaced for my own convenience as x1, x2, w, x, y, z instead of x1, x2, x3, x4, because I have taken x1, x2, x4 in this form. That's why instead of my own convenience I have taken. So you can also take, but at last you have to mention that this x1 is correspond to w, x is correspond to w, and subsequent x, y, z, w. Okay, so now the next point is integration we have reached. That is the fourth portion we have reached on the fourth portion. In the fourth portion, solve the fourth portion is integration. So solve this integration using trapezoidal rule. So what is the trapezoidal formula? You are having x and you are having y. Y is the output, and x is the input. Okay, so and this is also mentioned that you are required to calculate the integration by taking the sub 5 interval. So sub 5 interval can be divided, you can say that step size can be taken by 0.2, that is 1 final value minus initial value divided by the interval. 1 by 5 is equals to 0.2. okay, 0.2. So I have taken 0, 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8 and 1. 5 sub steps I have taken. So now you put the value x equals to here, x put the value and calculate the value of y. When you calculate this value, so just put the value in the form in this formula. So what is the formula? you just add the first and last. 1 plus 0.5, add the first and last in all the integration formula, whether it is trapezoidal, whether it is Simpson's 1/3 rule, whether it's Simpson's 3/8 rule, any formula of integration, you just add first and last. Like here, y0 plus y5, मतलब first and last. Here also y0 plus y1, y0 plus y1, yn. So add the first and last term, and add these with the twice of the summation of all these things which comes under these first and last point. Okay, so add these these 4 terms and multiply these 4 terms by 2, and add these with the first and last, and multiply that with the step size, that is h, and divide the whole term by 2. You will be getting your answer as this. Okay, so what is the question? What is the formula? H by 2, h is the step size, h by 2, first term, that is y0 plus yn, plus twice of all the remaining thing. This is the yn, or you can say y5 I can take, because here last is y5, and all the term y1 to y4. Add all these things, all the 4 terms, and multiply that with h divided by 2. You will be getting your answer. Okay, so this Simpson's 1/3 rule, this is again, you just remember this formula. Here this is 1/3, so divided this h by 3, and again first and last term. Now you have to separate the even terms and odd terms. These are odd terms and these are even terms. So you multiply the even terms by 2 and all the odd terms by 4. This is a trick you have to remember, because even terms are multiple of 2. So you just multiply the even terms by 2 and the rest odd terms by 4. Okay, so this is just a formula, or you can say trick for remembering the things. In the 3/8 rule, just put the 3/8 in the just multiply this all the terms by 3/8 and just remember this formula. Here it is a multiple of 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 29, and so on. Okay, so what is the use of this Simpson's formula? This question was asked in the UPSC Mains 2013. I forgot to note down this year. This was in the 2013, and it was for the 15 marks, and the question was, the velocity of a train which starts from the rest is given in the following table. The time in the minute of and the velocity is in kilometer per hour is given. So the estimate the approximate total distance run in 30 minutes by the using composite Simpson's 1/3 rule. Okay, so I have not solved this question because it can be solved by the same procedure. This x is given, this y is given. Here we have to calculate, but here it is already given. This y is already given. So this is the 20th minute we are having. 20th minute we are having. 20th minute we are having, but the question is asked from the 30th minute. We are required to calculate the total distance. So by using this same formula, y0 plus y1, so we can add this 16 plus 0, that is 16, plus twice of the even terms. Which are even terms? This is y0, this is y1, this term, and this term, and this term. So add these terms and multiply these term by 2, plus and the rest of the things, 28, this and this, and do the summation and multiply all these things by 4, and do not forget to multiply all these things by h by 3. H, what is h? H is 2, because the gap is 2, so 2 by 3, that is, do the multiplication, you will came to know about 400 or 450 something. So you will be getting the answer in the 20th minute. In the 20th minute, the total distance is 240 or 245, 450. Okay, these are 20 minute and 450. Now you can calculate 20 minute में इतनी distance है, 1 minute में 450 by 20 and 450 by 20, 450 by 20, ये तो 1 minute की distance, and we are required to calculate in the 30 minutes until 30. After solving that, I don't remember this value exactly, but I remember the last result, that is 700.8 kilometer. That will be the distance traveled by that train. Okay, so that is the answer. You just calculate and put the answer, or you can say solution, in that comment box section below. Okay, so this question, Gaussian quadrature, this question has not been asked, but it can be asked. So for this, you just remember this formula: I equals to minus integrate f of u from minus y to y, minus 1 to 1, this function f of u with respect to du. So after the integration of this function minus 1 to 1 f of u to du, this function, the answer is 8 by 9 into the value of function at 0, at u equal to 0, in plus 5 by 9 into f of the value of function at minus root 3 by 5 and root 3 by 5, plus and minus. So calculate these three values: f of f at 0, f at minus 3 by root 3 by 5 and root 3 by 5, minus root 3 by 5 and plus root 3 by 5. Calculate these three values and put in the function and solve the formula. You will be getting your answer. So this was the question. E raised to power minus x square dx, 0.2 to 1.5 was the limit. So I am taking, this is the b upper limit, a is the lower limit. This a is equal to lower limit and b is equal to upper limit, and this is the function using 3-point Gaussian quadrature. So the first step is, this is the step, these I have put in the steps. First step, change the limit from minus 1 to 1. Now next step, this you have to remember: x you have to put the summation and the subtraction and the addition, b minus 2 by 2 and b plus a by 2, addition and subtraction of the upper limit and minus lower limit, and addition of the upper and lower limit. So when you do the subtraction, just multiply that by u and put a sign of plus between these two. So what I have done, 1 by 2 b minus a into u plus 1 by 2 b plus a. So when you put b and a, what is b, what is a? I have already told, b is upper limit and a is lower limit. When you put these value, you will be getting this 0.65 u plus 0.85. Now this is x. What is the derivative? That will be a dx. Dx will be, the derivative of this will be 0 because it is a constant. So the derivative of this is 0.65 into du. This is the 0.65 and into du. So if this is the e raised to power minus x square, we know the value of x, just put the value of x over here, and dx, we put the value of dx and x, you will be getting this. So this is the function of u. F of u is this. So what we have studied in the formula, we have to put the value at 0, at minus root 3 by 5, at root 3 by 5. So calculate these three values and got the answer. Okay, very easy. Now Euler's method, this is the last and fifth portion of the numerical method, that is solve the ordinary differential equation in the numerical methods. Ordinary, or you can say ODE, ordinary differential equation. Okay, so in this differential equation will be given, what will differential equation will be given, and you are required to calculate the value of x, value of y at some particular point of x. Okay, so I am assuming that this is a point x naught, and do some increment between these. Let's suppose I am doing the increment of h, x naught plus h, x naught plus 2h, x naught plus nh up to nh, or you can say that there is a complete length L into M. I divided this into the some equal space portion. You can say that this is the divide LM into the n subsection or n sub interval, each of width h. If the ordinate through the L1 meets the tangent at this theoretical portion, you no need of reading this. Just come on the problem. Which type of problem will be there and how to solve these problems. In the May 2013, the question was asked using Euler method with the step size h equals to 0. So for that, you just remember this formula: y, a new y, that is the value of ordinate, y will be the initial value of y naught plus the h will be the subspace which we have taken the increment, subspace on increment. Okay, increment into the derivative, that is y dash. Okay, this is to be taken, except this nothing is to be taken. Okay, so now see the question. Using a laser method, h is given, compute the approximate value of y of 0.6, means when x is equal to 0.6 we have to calculate the value of y. Correct up to the 5 decimal place from the initial value problem. This is y dash that is given. Okay, this is given, and y of 0 is equal to 2, means when x equals to what this means that when x is 0 then y is equals to 2. Okay, so we will make a table x, we will make a table like in this form. There will be x, y dash, this is the y dash, this is the formula I have taken, x into y plus x minus 2, and y old plus h into y dash, that is equals to y new, which we have studied in the previous slides. That is the formula, y new is equals to y old plus h into the derivative. Okay, so what is the value of initial value of x? X is initially 0. When x is 0, the value of y is 2. Value of y is equals to 2. X is 0, y equals to 2. Put these two values in this equation, subtract 2, you will be getting y dash is equal to minus 2. So y old is 2, this is the y old, this is y old is 2, and this is a 0.5 will be same in the all the problem, and this is minus 2. Just do the calculation, I got 1. Y new is equal to 1. I put this y new is equals to 1 here. Do the same procedure again, just put these two values again in this y dash, calculate the value, and put the value of y and x in this, get the answer. Put this again, put this value put the value of y here, put this value over here, do the calculation, get this answer again. Now put this value over here, and this value over here, this value over here, and get this answer. Now again put this value over here and this value over here, you will be getting this answer. Again put this at there, put this and this in this, solve this as this, again put solve and this. Last you will be getting this. So this is 6. We have to solve up to the 5 decimal. The 5th decimal is 1 2 3 4 5. So this is the 5th decimal, and the 6th is 6. So if it is more than 5 or equal to 5, then we will be make an increment of 1. So this 5 will become 6. So this is the answer, minus 3.35126. That is the answer. Okay, so I think this lecture is going to be very long lecture. It has been a long lecture. So we are having only one you can say that topic of that is the Rangakuta method, which we have left with this. You can see we will be seeing on the, we will be moving on to the first slide of the lecture, that is Euler method we have done. Now we have having left with Rangakuta method. Okay, this is very important question, and this question has been asked various times in the previous years, 2015, 14, 13. Regularly, repeatedly this question has been asked in the UPSC. So we will be doing in the next lecture, when we will be doing the binary operations or binary calculation or computer operations we will be doing. Okay, so all these things which we have done in this lecture, please you again repeat this lecture, again rewind it, and try to memorize the formula in which you can say that formula, which formula is being used in which form, and what is the need of that formula, what is the application of that formula. Okay, so if you really like this video, please click on the like button, and please do not forget to subscribe if you want to get the information of newly added videos in the channel directly into your email account. So at last, thanks for watching this video. Thank you.